Let me say that on Juneteenth day, I spoke a couple of days ago with Spike Lee, and he said, you know what, we should kick off Juneteenth day having breakfast together in Brooklyn at
Junior's.
When we was
Growing up, Flatbush and decal.
We used to hang out. And I said, yeah, that's a good way to start the day. Let's remember that Juneteenth started because Texas had never informed those that were enslaved that they were free. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation that went into effect January 1st, 1863. But it wasn't until the 13th Amendment that blacks in even the northern states were free. Texas still didn't know it until the General Granger came down and freed the slaves. So you can be free and not know it. And that's what Juneteenth means. You can walk off the plantation now and not know it. So that's why it is important that people...
Okay, the irony of what Al Sharpton just said is not lost on your boy. He literally said you can be free and not know it. Why is it every time a black person chooses to vote for what they feel is the best for them, they're immediately treated like they ran away from the plantation and they're being hunted down by other black folk and being brought back to the plantation? Why is that? Why is that? Because you never hear that language when somebody votes in lockstep with all of the other black Americana. You don't hear them using that kind of language. It's only when somebody like myself doesn't vote for what they're talking about. And the idea that he said you can walk off the plantation, come on, Al. I don't think you realize what you said.
Register and vote in the mayor's election, whoever you vote for. Vote in every election, because they're trying to erase black history. In some states, they're literally banning
Her Street too.
And her street too, that's right. History and her street.
I don't want to get you bringing tell me go home tonight with saying let's leave that out.
So that's why right here in Brooklyn we produced an Oscar winning director
in the fort.
And coming back to the fort to have breakfast, remind people we're emancipated. We don't care who the president is, we're not going back on the plantation.
I don't think Al thought about what he was saying. Either that or he's flipped the script. I mean, we're not going back on the plantation. Sir, what plantation are you talking about? Come on, let's be honest. Somebody needs to ask Al, what is the plantation you're referring to? But I don't think anybody would, but I think that's a question that needs to be asked.
Spike.
Well, I'm just glad to be here with my brother right here. I grew up in Fort Greene, institution right here, Junior's. Check out the cheesecake and get that in. But we live in a very serious time in the world, not just the United States of America. So this is no joke. You know, this is serious business. So be safe, be smart, and let's move forward. I want it upward. Let's move forward.
What are we moving forward towards, Spike? Somebody needs to start asking these questions of these people. What are we moving forward toward? Because at this point, I guess you're saying that we're not progressive. We're not moving forward. We don't have rights and so on and so forth. What are we moving forward toward? Like, don't give me the fear mongering. They're going to take away your this, that. Don't give me that. But what are we moving forward toward? Are you going to say toward black people in government, black people in leadership, black billionaires, black pilots, black what? What are we moving forward toward? I think that needs to be asked, because I don't think there's any, I don't believe there's an answer, or I'd be very interested in hearing what the answer is. Let's go.
Glad to see our DA here, Gonzalez. Any questions?
I joined a little bit late. Can you just talk a little bit more? I understand you're urging people to get out and vote in the primary, and also separately talk about the travel ban. I think specifically.
I think the travel ban, the fact that Haiti and several other countries, all black and brown countries, is on the travel ban, shows outright bigotry. There's a rally tonight I'm speaking at the Christian Cultural Center on Juneteenth Day, that people from Haiti, they clearly are in danger. It's run by the gang. Donald Trump, just about 3 weeks ago, brought in 59 white Afrikaners from South Africa, saying they were suffering from genocide against whites, which did not exist. Even Fox News can't come up with footage of that. So how do you let 59 white Afrikaners come in, but you ban people from Haiti and ban people from parts of Africa? So that's why on Juneteenth they were saying, we're not slaves no more. We're going to stand up and fight that. But Juneteenth means anything. It's to say we're not slaves anymore. And that's why to have somebody as iconic as Spike stand up and say, let's do something about it, let's talk about it. Because people will act like this is just a day to drink Kool-Aid and kick back. It's a day to re-energize yourself and to refocus on what we got to do.
And also,
Let me just ask real quick, who is saying that we are slaves now? Who is saying that? And let me also ask another bonus question. What people group, what nationality, whatnot, was not slaved at some point in time in history and did not enslave? I'll wait. Tell me a people group that's never been slaved and has never slaved another people group. I just want to know why does Al get to talk about slavery as if that's something that only Black people experience? And I don't know, maybe Al's family does have some kind of history with slavery, but maybe they just came as immigrants. Maybe they came to the United States after the fact. Who knows? Does he know? I don't know. Does he know? What about Spike? Same exact question. And I think this gets to the heart of the matter. These people just want victim Olympics. These people are in the victim stock exchange. They're trying to exchange stock. These gentlemen right here are probably worth multi-millions of dollars, tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars between the two of them. And they sit there talking about oppression and slavery. It make sense.
so how many of our Haitian brothers and sisters here in Brooklyn,
That's
too?
right, Brooklyn
Come on.
probably has the biggest concentration, and that's why we have to stand up for them today on Juneteenth.
True son, live mature.
That's right.
True son.
Liberate Haiti.
And do you want to encourage people to get out and vote?
We definitely go ahead.
You got to vote. I mean, this is no joke, and people that put in prison, people have died for us to have the chance to vote.
I think Spike Lee, as you watch this, he's saying it really hard. He's labored to come up with a reason why one should vote. And the reason I bring that up is because why is it every solution always voting? Maybe they're not understanding the question, but every answer cannot be go out and vote. That's just like looking out into the future, October, November, we got to make sure we vote. What about right now today? What about right now today, Spike and Al? What are we doing to help hold Black families accountable so that Black men can be in their homes, leading their wives and children and helping to raise the next generation? What are we doing to build financial literacy in the Black community? What are we doing to take responsibility and stop the home to prison pipeline? What are we doing right now? Okay, voting is what it is. I'm not taking away from voting. But what about right now? Can't we vote with our own intellect and our own responsibility, and our own self-actualization? Can't we do that now? Why do I have to wait for somebody else to do something? Because when I'm voting, I'm ultimately waiting for somebody else to do something for me, when I could be doing something for myself, or my community could be doing something for itself right now in 4K. Why do I have to worry about voting? Not saying that you don't vote, but why do I have to worry about that when I could be doing something today? Every question can't be solved with every answer to every question can't be go out and vote. It can be an answer, but it's not every answer.
It's part of the democracy, and we can't take that for granted.
And everybody's talking about whose side are you on is who's on our side. At this time,
And repeat that.
it's who's on our side, not whose side are we on. In this age of Trump, we need people that'll stand up and fight back, whoever you vote for.
We've seen the
But I voted for Trump, though.
actions against DEI, and we've seen also some Juneteenth celebrations end up having to scale back because they've lost whatever funding, whatever sponsors they had. How do we move forward? I mean, what's your message here?
How did we get those celebrations in the first place? Because we stood up and fought. Remember, DEI started during the George Floyd thing.
I think it's DIE.
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 That's like the
I agree.
It's DIE.
is
That's the purpose.
Yeah, I think
That is the absolute, I don't know what he means by the purpose, but yeah, your business will DIE if you sit there and embrace DEI for too long. I agree.
when we were doing the marches around George Floyd, I
Marches.
did all the George Floyd's funerals. They started saying, we're going to do more for the black community, the corporate world. DEI, they threw it at us. We didn't come up with DEI, they did. Now they're backing up on that for Juneteenth, on Black History Month, on the LGBTQ. They won't do gay pride stuff.
Y'all, if you follow Al Sharpton, he has now equated a sexual preference with your melanin content. He's literally turned sexual perversion and your immutable skin color. He's put them on the same plane. That's your guy, Al Sharpton. That's why I say you got to leave these people alone. These people are not for you. These people are not trying to progress you forward. They're literally biting on whatever they're told to, whatever agenda they're told to move with. That's the agenda they're going to move with. He's now equating the alphabet mafia and skin color. Okay. You heard him say it. I didn't say it. But shout out to Spike for DIE. I agree, Spike. I agree.
How did we get in the first place? Is that we fought and stood up, and we're going to fight and stand up to those corporations. So you telling me you really weren't serious when you started this 5 years ago, so that we're serious about not being with you?
What about the people, I mean, we've been speaking to people out there.
What about the fact that the corporations are looking at you, Al Sharpton, and not seeing you moving forward short of waiting with your hand out? How about that? All they see is you protesting, belly aching, mic standing, and grandstanding. That's it. They don't see any. What are you building that actually you can say, hey, corporation people, support this effort that we built over here. Corporation people, water the seedling that we planted over here 5 years ago. Where is it, Al? Where? All I hear is go out and vote. Let's go protest. Protest so that we can vote. Vote about our protests. What?
Seem to be turned off by politics these days, even with everything that's going on right now. What is your message for them at home?
The message is that with everything that's going on right now is because enough of us are not involved in politics. The politics is determined by voters. Kamala Harris only lost by 1.5%. If more people that were apathetic or given up, they had voted, she would have been president. The fact Trump is in is why we're looking at travel bans to Haiti. The fact he's in is why they're talking about DEI has turned into DIE, as Spike said. So your vote matters. And they don't care that you get disgusted. They like that because they're going to bring their vote out.
They don't, sir, all you talk about is voting. There's, let's just say there's 5 elections a year. You know, your local, and then of course, let's just say there's 5 for laughs and giggles. There's 360 other days of the year that you should be worrying about, focusing on, and dare I say, obsessing over improving yourself and your community. Why is it you only focus on those 5 days? Why? This is just ignorant, and this is exactly what we get. This is why the Black community is in the position it is, because we have leaders like this. DearWokeC@gmail.com.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes, Robbie from NBC Morning spoke to you. Knowing that right after Juneteenth, when Reconstruction happened, 22 Black people were elected into office, do you see a positive legacy of reminding people that with change, like Juneteenth, comes positive things like more Black people being elected into office and the form of the PTA?
I think that if we learn from our history personally, there's been so many things that have happened that gotten us to where we are. I mean, that's why I'm wearing this hat today. My ancestors stole from other Africans, brought here, worked from Kansas City in the morning, Kansas City at night, and built this country. Along with taking the land of the Native Americans. That's how the United States was built. So we got to learn from the past, what we did right, what we did wrong. Simple.
And I think that the fact that right after the Emancipation Proclamation, when in the Reconstruction, we put 22 people in Congress, which is why we're saying today we have no excuse but to fight to continue to vote, because if they could vote in 22 members of Congress black in the middle of the 1800s, we have no excuse here in New York not to be voting for those that stand up for what is right, because it was not long after that. And Reconstruction fed into the era of Jim Crow, where we lost the right to vote. So anytime you gain something and relax, you lose it. That's why we're saying you can't relax, because they're trying to take everything back from us. All right. Thank y'all.
All right, we'll let you
All right.
breakfast.
Al Sharpton, Spike Lee, proving again why Black community is not unified. The Black community is not a monolith, but by any means or measures. But what we are looking at is a complete and total deflection of holding ourselves accountable and being responsible and wanting to be responsible. Why do we not want to be responsible for ourselves? Why are we always looking out into the horizon, always looking out to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, always looking out to the Gold Dome for them to do something for us when we could be doing stuff for ourselves? Why is this quote unquote leader and leaders not encouraging, pushing for, driving for Black people to take care and do for themselves? Why is it always looking up there to them to do it? If they don't do it, then it won't get done. And doesn't it sound problematic that if we're waiting for somebody else to do something for us, that they don't do it, then we're stuck? I don't know what to do with this. This is just so stupid. And again, I want to hear what you're thinking about it. So down in the comments below, let me know. Do you celebrate Juneteenth? What did you do to celebrate Juneteenth? And if you don't celebrate, what did you do besides celebrate Juneteenth? It's a federal holiday. Everybody's off. So let me know what you did. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Thank you so much for liking the video, and of course for sharing it. And thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. You're getting me closer and closer to hitting 50,000 subscribers, which is totally amazing. And I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all real soon. So thank you so much. I'll see you again real soon. And until then, grace and peace. Take care.